Hello, I'm Karen Knox, and welcome to episode 2 of Orion at Your Library. On today's episode, we'll take an in-depth look into teen services with our teen services librarian, Kathleen Kozlowski. We'll also recap some recent events held here at the library, including the Friends of the Library's used book sale and our recent dedication of the James Ingram Room, as well as a special presentation by Major Dan Pantaleo on the tragic events of September 11th. All this and more on today's episode of Orion at Your Library. Last episode, we got a general overview of the library and our various departments. Today, we're going to take a deeper look into our teen services. Here is our teen services librarian, Kathleen Kozlowski, with more.
Hi, my name's Kathleen, and we're here in the teen room at the Orion Township Public Library. I graduated in May 2012 with my MLIS from Wayne State University. I've been working here in the Orion community for about a year and a half, but I've been working in libraries for about 7 years. In my spare time, I like reading teen fiction, comic books, and playing video games. I work in the adult department, but I'm the only teen services librarian. So working in the adult department means I work with one outreach librarian, an outreach clerk, and 2 other adult reference librarians. There's 3 main things that I do here in the teen department. The first is collection development, the second is programming, and the third is outreach. I'm going to give you an in-depth look about how I do those 3 things. Collection development is the act of purchasing materials for the library. So I purchase for fiction, nonfiction biographies, graphic novels, comic books, audio books, and then the video games for the library. There's actually a very systematic way about how we go through collection development. The first is looking at review journals, and my favorite review journal is Voya. It's titled Voice of Youth Advocates. This is a journal that's geared for librarians, and it focuses all on teen material. They talk about teen technology, teen programming, and most importantly, they do reviews for books. And they base their reviews on how popular they think that books would be on a scale from 1 to 5, and the quality of the content in the book from 1 to 5. So if something has a high quality and it's high popularity, it's something that I'll likely order. I also look at books that come out if it's part of a series. If it's a popular series and book 3, if something's coming out, that's something that I'll likely order. Next, I take a look at patron requests. If it's a book that someone requests but I don't own, they can fill out a form and request that the library will order it. Sometimes we'll order the book for the collection, and sometimes we'll get it sent here from a different library. The last thing I look at is patron trends. This has to do with the type of book that's being published and the genre. For example, The Hunger Games is very popular, and that's a dystopian novel. So The Hunger Games gained popularity, and then other books such as Maze Runner by James Dashner and Divergent by Veronica Roth gained popularity. So I look at things like that. Another example is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. A few years ago, vampire books were super popular. The second thing that I do is plan programs. I feel pretty lucky that I have a 16-year-old sister, so it's easy for me to stay up to date on what's popular right now in the teen community. I also am a member of several listservs, so other librarians will talk about successful and unsuccessful programs that they've had. There are also program ideas in the journals that I mentioned before, and I look at trends like I look at books to purchase. The Hunger Games is popular right now, and there's a movie coming out in November, so I have a Hunger Games program centered around the movie release later in November. When I think about programming, I try to plan some educational programs and then some fun programs. I have an ACT practice exam this Saturday, and students can come and take a practice exam, and they'll get their scores within 1 to 2 weeks. And Sylvan Learning Center is putting this on, and they'll also send you your exam scores, your test questions that you answered, and the answer key, so you can use it as a study guide. I'm also doing a a teen writing workshop later in October, which is specifically for National Novel Writing Month. One of the more fun programs I have in October is a haunted house, and this is put on by teen volunteers. I have teen volunteers, they're welcome to come and dress up, and the haunted house is put on by them, but only children up to 5th grade can walk through it, and we have different scare levels. They can have a mild scare, a medium scare, or a heavy scare, and that's usually for the older students that walk through. Moving on to November, I have a Minecraft LAN party, and this is an after-hours event. It's the first time the library's trying anything like this, and I'm working closely with the head of my IT department to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And if this program's a success, I'll probably do it again in the future. Then in December, the last big program I have is a steampunk jewelry making program. I'm bringing in a jewelry maker, and she'll bring all of her tools and supplies, and she'll teach you how to make steampunk necklaces, bracelets, and earrings. The only ongoing program we have in the teen department is Anime Club, and they meet the first and third Tuesday of each month at 7 o'clock. The last big thing that I do here in the teen department is outreach to the 3 middle schools and the high school in the school district. This involves a lot of different things. Sometimes it's going to the schools to talk about the summer reading program, sometimes it's to talk about ThinkLink, and sometimes it's to talk about Battle of the Books. ThinkLink's a partnership between the library and the schools, and it's a program to ensure that students in the Lake Orion School District have access to resources and books here at the library, and they have an easy way to get them. Teachers also have an easy way to get books for their classrooms. When a teacher wants some books for their classroom, they contact me and I'll pull books. For example, if a teacher wants something on China, I will pull all the relevant books on China, and a volunteer will drop them off at the school within a week's time. Battle of the Books is something that I work with hand in hand with the media specialists at Walden, Scripps, and Oakview. The media specialists and I pick 7 books, and if students are interested in participating, they can form teams up to 6 people. This is a long ongoing program between October and the Battle of the Books is in February. The students have to read all 7 books, and at the end there's a big trivia contest between the teams and all the different schools to see who can test their knowledge and know the material the best. A few weeks before the competition, the media specialists and I meet, and we write 10 questions per book, so there's a total of 70 questions. Sometimes the questions are easy, like naming the author of a book, and other times they're a little bit more complicated. Teams have the opportunity to challenge a question 3 times. There are prizes for the first, second, and third place team, and after the battle's done in February, there's a big pizza party. Last year, there were over 120 students that participated in the battle. A big goal that I have for the outreach in the teen department is really increasing my visibility to the schools. Here in the teen room, there are a lot of really neat resources that teens can use. The first right here is a monitor. Students can check out a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360. They just have to leave an ID, and they're welcome to check out games and play them here in the teen room. Another resource we have in the teen room is book lists. Book lists are lists of books if teens don't know what they want to read. They're a list of fantasy, science fiction, adventure, horror, several different genres, and it gives teens an idea of what they might want to read. Just outside the teen rooms are all of the new teen books. So these are books that I've recently purchased. There's also new audiobooks. The last resource we have here in the teen room is 5 computers, and these are only for teens to use. We have a few guidelines here in the teen room that I posted. It's for grades 6 to 12, but other patrons are welcome to come in and get a book. And peer-to-peer tutoring is also encouraged. In the future of the teen department, there are a few things that I'd really like to try. The first is a makerspace. A makerspace is a collaboration area for people to meet with common interests. It often focuses on science, technology, digital art, and computers. I would also like to update the technology in the teen department, and this would involve purchasing a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One for teens to use. Again, I'm Kathleen. I'm the Teen Services Librarian at the Orion Township Library. I'd love to meet you, so please stop by and take a tour of the teen room.
It's Ladies' Night Out at the Orion Center on Friday, November 15th from 6 to 9 p.m. The Orion Area Chamber of Commerce will once again partner with Orion Township to offer a night of ladies-only fun. Over 40 vendors will offer a little something for everyone, including tasty treats and multiple wine tasting stations. There will also be raffle prizes and demonstrations, and Tim McGraw tribute artist Alan Scott will provide live entertainment. Round up a group of your BFFs and register today. The first 100 women through the door will receive a free gift bag. That's Ladies' Night Out at the Orion Center, Friday, November 15th. Call 248-391-0304, extension 305 to register today, or visit orionareachamber.com for more information.
At the Orion Township Public Library, we pride ourselves on being more than just books. Here's a sample of some of the special programming that we recently offered for our community.
The Orion Township Library held a special ceremony on Saturday, September 28th, renaming the Orion Room after James Ingram, a longtime library patron and supporter. Friends and colleagues of Ingram's joined library board members and staff to officially dedicate the James Ingram Room. Ingram's estate donated a substantial gift to the library. In fact, it is the largest gift the library has ever received. The funds will be used to help preserve the history of Lake Orion, which Jim Ingram was an expert. Jim was a fifth-generation Lake Orion resident who penned Time Tracks, a historical article that appeared in Lake Orion Review for years. The library is compiling many of these articles for preservation. The funds donated were used to purchase a museum-quality display case that showcased artifacts from Lake Orion's past. Jim's love of history and Lake Orion was compiled in a book that gives a detailed history of our town and its origins. The James Ingram Room holds many records of Lake Orion's past, including genealogy and housing records, plus much more for residents to explore.
At the Orion Township Library on September 23rd, a very special person came to speak not about parenting or drugs and alcohol use, but to enlighten others on his own personal experiences during the darkest moment in America's history, September 11th, 2001. This is Dan Pantaleo, a retired United States Marine Corps major, of whom was a responder to the Pentagon, and speaks not only on the day's events, but tries to better the lives of others based on his perseverance when his country needed him the most.
I learned how to be a leader during a crisis, but also took away it's really good to be a patriot. And, even when you're down like he was, and, finding a boost from the smallest places or even the biggest places. And it was definitely impactful to myself as a student and as a patriot.
I'm the head of the Adult Services Department. We try to provide educational and interesting events for the public, things that people would like to come to, and we also really like authors. We're a library, so he was a combination of an interesting subject and he had written a book about it. Our director had seen him. He had spoken at a chamber meeting, I believe, and she had seen his presentation, so she recommended that we contact him, so I did.
I want them to walk away with a better understanding and appreciation for what Patriots Day really is and what it's all about. And then I also want them to walk away with a call for action. Invest in their mental, moral, and physical DNA, their leadership DNA, that thing that comes to the surface in crisis situations or in situations where you're forced to make difficult decisions. That core of who you are will come to the surface and manifest itself in your actions. And so I encourage people to take steps, and I lay out a lot of various steps in keynote speeches and seminars, to take those actions to improve upon themselves in their mental, moral, and physical makeup on a daily basis. I published my book, 4 Days at the Pentagon, about 2 years ago, and based on publishing it, it became a venue for people wanting me to come in and talk about the book, do book signings, and then it grew into essentially a speaking business, and I've traveled now all throughout the United States, speaking to a variety of different audiences, some corporate outings, universities and colleges, and all kinds of groups. So it gives me an opportunity to share that message with them and to instill in them a sense of accountability for themselves, their actions, and that investment in their mental, moral, and physical DNA. It's something I feel compelled to do. I enjoy doing it. It brings satisfaction to me, and I know I've been helping people.
To celebrate their 100-year anniversary, the General Federation of Women's Clubs Lake Orion recently held a wall dedication ceremony at the Orion Township Library. The GFWC unveiled a library wall of plaques and pictures showing the history of the Orion Township Library. The group was founded in 1914 and was originally called the Lake Orion Ladies Literary Club before they eventually joined the GFWC. The organization was known for having an active role in community service, which included helping troops during times of war and establishing a large chunk of the nation's public libraries. In 1926, the Lake Orion charter of GFWC earned enough money to open the first local library, which was a small room on the second floor of the village hall and contained a mere 500 books.
GFWC Lake Orion is credited with the founding of the library. When we lower the sheet, you will see that there are 4 pictures of libraries, and you can see a natural progression from the small, one room, 500 books or maybe a little more, to the present facility. It shows the significance and meaning this library has to the community members. It's a treasure. And today it's even more important to fund things for your library and to keep it growing, because the economic crisis of 4 years ago and the downsizing of your value of your home has made significant inroads on our library stability.
The GFWC Lake Orion is still working hard to help better their community. The group has made calendars for 2014 featuring organizations and local landmarks. All proceeds from the calendar sales will go towards purchasing new equipment for the library.
The Friends of the Orion Township Public Library recently held their annual Gently Used book sale. The event ran from Tuesday, September 17th through Saturday, September 21st. The first day of the sale was reserved for the Friends Preview Night, but it opened to the public beginning on Wednesday. On Wednesday and Thursday, anyone could come to browse and buy. On Friday, everything was half off. And on Saturday, patrons paid just $5 for as many books as they could fit into a paper grocery bag provided by the Friends. All of the proceeds from the book sale were used to benefit the library. For more information on the Friends of the Library or next year's sale, contact them at 248-693-3000, extension 350, or email otpl.friends@gmail.com.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode. For additional information on your Orion Township Public Library, please visit our website at orionlibrary.org or give us a call at 248-693-3000. And make sure to join us next month, right here on ONTV, for another edition of Orion at Your Library.